welcome to the channel. This is what our light situation currently looks like in our garage. But now take a closer look at what our garage would look like if it was on recreational meth. Not as much difference as you'd expect. So let's turn this lighting frown upside down, which would kind of be like dividing by zero with light. I'm not a doctor. Not after what happened to that last patient, no. But what I can help you with is a garage that needs turned around in the lighting department. A few different things today. A, we gotta paint everything up there and make it not look, well, I'd say vintage. It's more like burnt cardboard. But I have a patented 137-step process to get your garage looking great. I'll post a link down below from the company that I picked these lights up from. As a natty light drinker myself, one of the biggest considerations I have when purchasing was the price. Clearly, but that doesn't mean we're gonna skimp-opotamus on quality. No. LED lights actually turn on and off and flicker, or commonly called the strobe effect, when there's a mismatch between the camera settings and the refresh light of the bulb. So we're actually gonna do some testing with that later and see how far we can push our camera settings before it causes an issue. Before we even bust the light box open, we gotta do something about the ugly rafters in our garage. If you have a sheetrock ceiling in your garage or shop, this step wouldn't be a big deal and you wouldn't have to do it. But if you do, be prepared to take out a small loan for all the plastic wall anchors you're gonna need to attach this. For my installation, we're gonna use 4 sheets of 5/8 inch thick plywood. We gotta remove all the crap and garbage I've been throwing up in the rafters. It's in the way. One man's trash is also probably another man's trash. No one who said that quote. Probably BMW. Now, there's an expected amount of fecal matter that you anticipate to see in every one of these videos. But this amount just blew it out of the water. Yeah, something was clearly living its best life up here on the $5 footlong diet. Would have been really nice to know about that before I tilted it and dumped it all in my head. Not the first time I'm covered with poop rain. God willing, it won't be the last. I've got a few electrical boxes and switches up in my naughty no-no zone. So before I can get an electrical guy out here and move stuff around, I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the holes big. That way we have lots of access to the electrical boxes and fun stuff, so if we have to move it around, the hexagons won't be a big deal. But I'm tired. Poop keeps falling out of my shirt and pockets and stuff. I gotta go inside and figure life out. But I know how much you love a clean transition, so welcome back. It's a fresh new day. My knees only hurt when I breathe, so I'm gonna consider that a victory at my age. But now it's time for the next step. Step A. This is the outside of the box. Not a lot going on there. So this is the inside of the box. A little bit more going on there. Clearly, the inside of the box is where you need to be. Looks like we got some AC power wires and connectors. Looks like we got some 45s. Oh yeah, and the center connections for all the Hexagon lights. The long LED sections actually make up the perimeter of the LED system. And the shotties actually make up the small sections for the Hexagons. Now the manual recommended a grid laser because getting up there and measuring all these corners and all this stuff, get out of the way, is a little bit tricky, but my time is clearly not worth the $30 on a laser purchase right now. I can invest as much time into this measurement project as I want. The manual outlines really well how to assemble small sections of lights and the best way to arrange them. You start with the large straight pieces for the perimeter first. Well, it looks complicated, it really ain't. Now you're gonna have to decide which corner you wanna get incoming power to go to the perimeter. But also, start brainstorming on how to get the hexagons powered too. I just chose to put it in this corner, that way don't really have to extend a whole bunch of wires all over the attic. Well, I didn't put every line in the ceiling. I switched to pencil in some areas and just put like a 6-inch long dash. As I'm going down the row, I'm making little adjustments to make sure it's square and all the connections are actually fitting tight. Be careful, it's really easy to only get these things partially seated and you're not relying on the whole connection for light head. And that's gonna also mess up your squarishness, adorable, down the road. And according to the manual, it wants you to install the centerpiece first. Okay, hear me out. For this installation, and I gotta make sure I clear that LiftMaster 3921 for my IQ Wi-Fi. Heck of a name. We gotta make sure the Hexagon actually clears it. So instead of actually installing this piece first, we're going to put it up there and test the entire hexagon to make sure it clears my garage door. And let the Lord's light just blast me in the face. You're probably asking yourself, Matt, this lighting looks just like it did earlier. Why'd you spend the money on that? But I normally have to use 2 or 3 soft boxes to light the garage. And now I don't gotta drag those lights around and fight a small land yacht sized car to get video. Credit where credit is due. I was worried that these lights would shine up like a harsh spotlight or you wouldn't be able to really see anything, but it's like a nice diffused light that just lights up everything super nice. You know those LED rope lights where it's got a little segment every inch or so and it lights up different colors? Well, I was worried these lights would have the same individual LED effect, but not a problem there. It looks like a whole bunch of mid-century modern hexagon pods, lightsabers, glued to my ceiling. Perfect. But let's go ahead and do some testing with different camera settings and see if we can get them to strobe. I found that shutter speed had the biggest impact on the strobing effect with our cheap LED bulb I used for reference. So here are the results for the camera testing. Not a single flicker or flash. Even when attempting with other common frame rates of 23 and 59, no issues. My mom always said to me, son, you're going places. Not to college, ironically, but I was able to figure out this light install, so that's probably like the same as an English major degree. So in conclusion, would I buy these again? Absolutely, they're awesome. Not really sure where I put them, but I'd get another set. These lights have made it into the bad boys club. Sounds a lot more sexual than I anticipated in my head, but it's a good club, I think. And be sure to do that thing you know I like down below. Wow, 3 inches, nice. And you got any questions? Throw them at me in the comments section and I'll slam a white claw and see what I can figure out for you. I'm not a doctor. You probably shouldn't take any medical advice from me, unless you want a good time. But for my installation, we're going to use 4 sheets of 5/16. I was okay with how I existed. So I saw that. I'm not a doctor. Not after what happened to that last page. Doesn't matter. Boop. Get back in there. Had a little bit of prolapsing. Not a big deal.